What's good, everyone? Welcome back to the channel, and in today's video I will show you how you can basically scrape anything on the internet with Apify and n8n. And I decided to make this video because I noticed that n8n doesn't have a direct integration with Apify, and I have been using Apify with make.com. So I decided, this is a good thing to show because, with Apify, I have been able to, scrape Google Maps and contact data that is inside Google Maps. I was able to scrape, Instagram profiles, LinkedIn posts, contact data from websites. So basically, you can set up very easily and you don't have to worry about code breaking or maintaining the code or anything changing in the website that you are scraping. So, it's super awesome and I just use it, so that's why I decided to make this video, and the setup is actually quite simple. So as you can see, I am right now already in Apify store. So as you can see, you can get website content crawlers, Google Maps extractors, Instagram scrapers, TikTok data extractors, Facebook's post scrapers, contact detail scrapers. So basically anything you have in mind, you can scrape with Apify. And that's exactly why I'm making this video today. So without further ado, let's jump into the video. If you're gonna see, this is a simple setup. So how I'm gonna do is I'm gonna basically trigger it manually, but I'm gonna store some information in the Airtable, and the main magic is gonna happen with these 3 nodes. So first of all, we have to run an actor, then you have to get that actor or wait for an actor to execute, and then finally you get all of the data that you just scraped, and then you can upload to Airtable, pass it to AI, or do whatever you want. So usually these steps are similar to anything that you're scraping, and we're gonna do this step by step in this video. So I'm gonna move this to the side because I'm gonna be referencing it from time to time, but this is basically the structure that I'm using for this scraper video example. And again, in this video I'm gonna be scraping videos. So as you can see, I'm going to be able to get a channel name, video name. I'm going to be able even to get, a thumbnail. So for example, we can look at this handsome fella. And then we can get, number of subscribers, likes, views. And the crazy part, I'm going to show this right now, it's empty, but you can even get like subtitles. Then you can provide this information to an AI agent, and he can basically rewrite the whole video, make you a script, make you a short form post or whatever. So if you're interested in seeing this integrated inside an AI agent, let me know in the comments down below. I might do, another video on this if you want to integrate it with an AI agent. But yeah, this is how I'm storing the data with an Airtable. You can have Google Sheets. And we can start actually, building it from scratch in this case. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna rename this Apify Scraper Volume 2 because the first one I already built. Of course, if you haven't signed up for this, sign up because you'll need it. For the trigger, again, I'm gonna do it trigger manually since this is a test. Then another thing we need is to somehow decide which, let's say in this case, video I want to scrape. If you want to scrape site, if you want to scrape LinkedIn post, if you want to scrape LinkedIn profile or whatever, the approach is going to be almost identical. Oh no, so I selected updates, so let's choose from Airtable, and I'm going to need, let's say in this case, search records. So for the base, I have like this scraping database, don't want to mention it out loud. Then for the table, scraped data. And for the formula, so this is what I'm going to enter out. So just let me copy it from the previous flow that I have. Let's paste it. And basically what I'm going to look for is I'm going to look if video URL is not empty in Airtable and status is ready to scrape. So for example, what I can do is I can copy this, paste it here, and set the status to ready to scrape. Then let's go back and let's test the step. And we can immediately see that, it fetched data. So we have, the record ID, a video URL, and the status, which is, all we need for this to continue. So probably I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pin this data. So we're gonna be reusing this later on. And now we need to actually set up an actor for the scraping to happen. So for this, I'm gonna go back to Apify. I'm gonna go to actors, and actors are basically just scrapers, just a nice name for scrapers. And you can search for actor here, whatever you have in mind. But I already have some ones that I used in the past. So as you can see, there are quite a few that I used. So I'm gonna go to the YouTube scraper. So this is gonna be the one that I'm using. And over here, what you can do is you can set everything you want. So you can add search terms. So for example, if you don't wanna scrape by URL, in this case I'm scraping by URL, you can scrape by search terms. So you can add search terms here, you can add different search terms, you can add how many results you want to return. Then over here I'm adding direct URL, so this is just an example, let's say. Then here I'm selecting to scrape the subtitles, because again I said that with AI you can repurpose that into different types of content, which I think is very useful. You can add different filters for HD, live, purchased, whatever that means. I haven't used these at all, and so on and so forth. Yeah, even you can set a date range here. But basically, once you set all of the parameters you have in here, what you're gonna do is you're gonna go to the JSON over here, and you'll notice that you have all of the parameters here. So download subtitles, true. This is what we need. Other parameters are false because I don't need them. Max results 1 because I'm gonna be scraping only one video. Method get, and there's the URL. So now we've essentially set up the scraper because, for example, I already have a URL added here, but later on I'm going to replace it. And now we can set up the HTTP request to Apify. So let's go and add HTTP request. Let's rename this to run actor. Let's give it this name, rename it. For the method, we're going to use post, even though this might look confusing because here the method is get, but here we're going to be using post. And let me maybe zoom in. Yeah, it's going to be a bit easier this way. So yeah, we're going to use method post. For the URL, what you're going to need to do is add this one. So basically, I'm gonna also leave a link of Gumroad where you can download this, basically the whole workflow, and upload it inside n8n, and it's gonna be set up already. So all you have to do is, add your own credentials. But basically, the URL that you wanna have here is api.apify.com/v2/acts/ the actor ID/runs. So how do you get the actor ID? We'll go back to, let's say, to this YouTube scraper. And over here in the URL, you can see there is an ID between the actors and the input. Copy that, go back here, delete it, replace it, and there you have it. Then for authentication, what we can do is select generic credential type. Then you can select header auth. And over here, I already have Apify credentials, but let's say we're setting up them from scratch. So let's select create credentials. I'm gonna name this again, Apify volume 2. So the name, enter here authorization. And what you're gonna need to do is select bearer, leave an empty space. Then let's go back to Apify. Then you're gonna need to go to the settings, API and integrations. And over here you have personal API tokens. So what you're gonna have to do is just copy this, go back basically here, and paste the token, and then save it, and it's gonna establish the connection to the Apify, which you can later on reuse. I'm not gonna paste it here because you're gonna be able to see, and I don't want that because I don't want to edit this video. So yeah, so let's say we've set up the credential. I'm gonna select Apify. Then for the get headers, we need to send one header, which is quite common, content dash type, and here application slash JSON. And then we will be sending the body, because this is the most important part. So the body using JSON, and then select expression, go back again to the Apify, go back to the actors, go back to your, let's say in my case, this specific actor. What I'm gonna do again, I'm gonna go to the JSON, and I'm gonna copy this whole JSON I have here. Let me check. No, I haven't copied it all. Let's copy it again. Let's go back here, paste it. And if I expand this, you can see I have the exact same JSON over here. So now the only thing that I need to do is replace this URL. I'm gonna do this delete, and I'm gonna add this basically variable here. And as you can see on the right, it fills it up with the variable that we have. So essentially you are ready to run an actor. So let's test the step. Okay, method not allowed, please check you are using right HTTP method. Okay, by accident I selected delete. So again, let's select post. So it has to be post. Yeah, I'm not sure how I selected that. Again, test step, and we fetched basically we ran the actor. So we have the data, but at this point, this is not the data that we can actually use. It just has, you know, like actor compute units, data set reads, data set writes, that sort of information, which we can't really use, but we have to make a few additional calls. So I'm gonna pin this data because I'm gonna be using it. And we're gonna need to set up a get actor run. So this actually ran an actor. Now we need to select another HTTP request. And for this one, leave the get method. Again, I'm gonna copy the URL that I have. So this one is gonna be api.apify.com/v2/actor runs/JSON ID. So in this case, yeah, so the ID, we're using the first ID from the actor run node over here. And then we have to set up authentication. So let's select generic credential type, and you should already have this set up if you have the one, the first node running. Then, since we're getting the actor run, we also need to send one query parameter. And this is actually quite important because, let me show you. For example, I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna go back into here, and let's say if I start the actor run, I go into the runs, you can see that actor is running, but it's not an immediate. Basically, the scraper has to go there into the platform, and it has to scrape all of the details. It has to fetch all of the subtitles, all of the information. And let's say if the video is like 1 minute long, or I mean like 20 or 30 minutes long, it's not going to be instant. So as you can see in this case, it took 20 seconds. So that's why we need one query parameter. And for this, we're going to add wait for finish, and the maximum value that it accepts is 60. So that means that we're going to be getting the actor run immediately after the actor ran, but before we get that actor run, we need to wait for at least for 60 seconds for it to finish. So I hope that's clear. Yeah. Then again, I think I need to send headers. Yeah. So using below content dash type, and then I'm just gonna copy from before application JSON. So again, let's say we're running this in real time. The first actor run, it's running for more than 5 seconds. What this HTTP request does, it fetches that actor run, but it waits at least 60 seconds until it's done. So now I'm gonna rename this to get actor run, rename it like so, and let's test the step. And in this case, this is going to be instant because our actor ran before. So yeah, we don't have to wait for anything. And as you can see, again, we get a bunch of data. So now essentially we're left with the last thing, which is fetching the data. Like the subtitles in my case, or if you're scraping for contact details, so just that type of information. So let's add HTTP request again. I'm gonna rename it right away, get data set, and data set is where it's gonna store all of the data. I'm gonna copy the URL again. I'm gonna explain what I'm writing in here. So basically, again, the URL is api.apify.com/v2/datasets. Then we have JSON data default dataset ID /items. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete it, and we're going to add this together. So if you have get actor run, what you're going to do is you're going to scroll down until until you see default dataset ID. So I'm gonna drag it over here and leave it like so. Okay, and I forgot to rename it, but now we have it. And for this one, I think we only need to set up the authentication, which is header, and I'm choosing my Apify credentials. So that's pretty much it. So I guess I haven't needed the headers previously, but now let's test the step. And as you can see, I got the title, the type, which is video, the URL, the thumbnail URL, view count, date, likes, channel name, basically all I need. And this is gonna be the last step that we're gonna do, which is, add that info to the Airtable. So let's select Airtable, select update the record. Again, for the base, let's select that. Let's give it a time, so I probably can take a sip of my coffee. Getting cold. Actually got a comment saying that I sound thirsty when I speak, and that's probably true. Oh, okay, we got the scrape data. So the columns to match on is ID, and now I'm gonna just select the Airtable ID from the previous run. So selecting Airtable ID. Video URL, I'm gonna leave it empty because we're not replacing the video URL, we're actually scraping it. The stat is gonna be scraped. So for the channel name, I'm gonna go into get data set, and here we have channel name. Then for video name, we have the title. For the thumbnail, so actually with the thumbnail, this one is a bit more interesting because in the Airtable, I have thumbnail as an attachment, and that requires a bit of a different way of uploading it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add curly braces, so it's an expression. Then what I need to do is add an array, and inside an array, I'm gonna need to, let me just check. I'm gonna need to build like an object, which is gonna be 2 curly brackets inside, then double quotes, URL, then the colon outside it, then the $sign, and here I'm gonna select get data set or not. Yeah, get data set. Then it's gonna be .item, .json, thumbnail URL. So this is kind of, a strange format, but this is specific to Airtable. If you don't use Airtable, you probably don't have to worry about this. But for example, if you ever want to upload an attachment to Airtable through API, this is what you should use. Then for the number of subscribers, let's find it over here. So number of subscribers. Then I have likes. So, my last video got 14 likes. So, give it a like, make it, more likable. Views, and then subtitles. So let me just, you know what? I'm just gonna write subtitles over here. And we have subtitles, plain text. Let's add it here. So you can see everything is being extracted. And we're essentially built our scraper, and we've built a system of where we, store that scrape data. So I'm gonna unpin this. Then what I'm gonna do is unpin this. I'm gonna save this. I'm gonna go back here. Let me check if I have it as a variable. Yes, so I have it as a variable. And now, again, this is, my basically YouTube Studio. Maybe I'm gonna move this to the side, but we can try to scrape another video. So I'm gonna copy the URL. We're gonna go back into the Airtable. So I'm gonna mark this as scrape, let's say, but I'm gonna paste here, and I'm gonna enter ready to scrape, and I'm gonna test this workflow. So as you can see, actor is running. If we go into the runs, memory is being used, actor is running, everything is working as we expect. We go back to the Apify. We can see, we're waiting for that actor to finish running. That's why this node is necessary. Then we're getting the dataset items, and then we're updating the Airtable. So let me go back to here. As again, you can see the last record was updated. So status is scraped, channel name, video name. You can even get my thumbnail, again, quite a nice thumbnail. Then number of subscribers, number of likes, so 55 likes. Okay, let's reach 55 likes again. Number of views and subtitles. And again, in my opinion, this is, where the gold is. You can actually scrape all of the subtitles, and then you can repurpose this content to anything that you want. So again, let me know in the comments down below if you're interested to see an AI agent that incorporates Apify scraping and then able to generate, additional content. So let me know. But this is pretty much it. I'm gonna add this in the link where you can download the flow. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed watching, hit a like, hit a subscribe. And if you wanna work with me, there's also gonna be down a form in the description where you can actually reach out to me. So yeah, thanks again, and see you in the next one.